You better not duck me, Thun. Keith Thurman returns on the mic this time. He'll be there for the Shawn Porter versus Yordenis Ugas fight this Saturday on Premier Boxing Champs. For more, stay tuned to your boy. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We work. And now, your boy Keith Thurman, you better not duck me, Thun. He will be back this time, not fighting, but he's going to be covering the fight, part of the Telegas PBC for Shawn Porter versus Ugas, and I'm looking forward to the fight. In fact, I'll actually be at the fight, so I look forward to seeing some of you guys, formerly known at the StubHub Center. I have some things back at home that I'm trying to catch up with before I head out there, but I'll be there for some point to cover the fight for you guys and get some footage. I haven't even planned and booked my room, but Keith Thurman on his verified Twitter account, this is what he says. And it was the PBC Rewind where they're showcasing Keith Thurman versus Danny Swift Garcia. He says, this was a fun scrap. I need to get that WBC belt back. Hashtag one time. So rightfully so, if that's how he feels, it makes sense for him to go out there and cover, because Shawn Porter is the WBC champion of the world. So, you know, the winner of that fight will obviously be the WBC champion, and it makes sense to put him on the telecast. Now, I want, and I know Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia is a week away from that, so I want Keith Thurman to go to that fight. But, you know, based on what Keith Thurman has said, it looks like he wants to regain that WBC that he had to relinquish before anything else. Like, it doesn't sound like he wants to fight Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia in that order, you know, just from what he said. He says he wants to get what he, you know, had to leave behind because of injuries. Now, Keith Thurman, his last fight, it was good, you know, good action. I thought he came out very sharp considering the long layoff. But in the mid-rounds, round 7 or whatever, it got kind of scary and got a little bit sketch for Keith Thurman. He was rocked. He looked buzzed. You know, I don't think he even denies being buzzed. So, you know, it's hard telling if that was a testament to him being out of the ring for so long. Maybe, you know, part of it was just Josecito Lopez. But the thing a little bit scary about that is I don't think most people think and consider Josecito Lopez in his prime. I get it. He's a veteran, you know, and he has a good corner with Robert Garcia and things like that. But I don't think most people consider him A, in his prime, and B, to be the biggest puncher at welterweight. So it's kind of like, man, what about Errol Spence? If he beats Mikey Garcia, his confidence has to go through the roof. And we know he has heavy hands and he's a southpaw. You know, what about Terrence Crawford? His momentum is just crazy right now, you know, so it let people think. But maybe that's what Keith Thurman needed, a reality check and a good tough fight that wasn't going to, you know, that he won, and he retained his WBA title before going into the bigger fights. Now maybe he realizes that, yeah, I probably got to fight more frequently. And I think that's really my only gripe for Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, early in his career, he's calling out the big names, things like that. Then he started getting the big names like Shawn Porter. Then he fought Danny Garcia right after. Nobody complained. It was at that point where he reached that pinnacle with Danny Garcia, and then all of a sudden he kind of fell off the grid. You know, it seemed like he got married, he was injured, he was recovering from that, and it didn't really seem like he wanted to come back. It seemed like he kind of wanted to just play the flute Indian style and just enjoy life. And I get it, but this is a gritty sport. You know, I understand, because I know a lot of fighters personally. When you cut weight and you have to eat, you know, a strict diet and, you know, get up at a certain time, I'm sure when he was on his like vacation from injury, it is a bit of a break, so you can, you know, fall in love with that. Because, you know, I think Tim Bradley was another person. He trains crazy, you know, he has grueling training. His dad was kind of hard on him. You know, Tim Bradley was saying his dad used to drive the truck and yell at him, and then he had to run behind the truck, you know, and that's why you see Tim Bradley always in shape like Rambo and shit. That's how he got past the Pacquiao fights and Ruiz and Provodnikov fight. Always in phenomenal athletic shape. But I noticed Tim Bradley, when he's not fighting, he blows up. Like, you know, he gets pretty big, and it's not even like like crazy out of shape big. It's just, he's just big, you know. You could tell he cuts weight, you know. And now that you see him doing the commentary, he's kind of like just chilling at that walk around weight, because it takes a lot of discipline to do what these fighters are doing, and a strict life like what is required to be at the elite level. So I, you know, in a way I understand it for Keith Thurman, but I'm also a boxing fan, I'm also a boxing reporter, and you got to make that choice if you want to be at the highest level and, you know, a champion, because you can't, this is not the type of sport where you can have one foot out and one foot in. So, you know, Keith Thurman, from what he's saying, he wants the big fight still, and he's still in it. So we'll see. Again, I don't know how much of it was ring rust in the Jose Cito Lopez, but that was that moment of vulnerability. You know, it woke people up, and you know, I can imagine people start chomping at the bit a little bit. So I'm glad Keith Thurman is going to be part of the telecast. I really like how PBC, Premier Boxing Champs, does that and has like potential future fights, and you know, oh, it's like a Charlo fight, then they'll have Erickson, Lubin, or Hurd like as a live guest, a special guest. I like how they do that, how they just, and every time I go to PBC fights, there's a ton of people. You see the Tanks and Broner, you see the different PBC guys actually show up. You know, that's not the case with some of the other companies. You'll see it'll be a certain card, and you don't really see all the people from the card show up. Even people that are in the division that probably should be checking, you know, because they're in that division and they want to allegedly fight that person, you know. So PBC, I think, does a good job of that, and they have a big stable. So we'll see. You know, if I see Keith Thurman, I'll try to ask some questions for him or for you guys. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. It just doesn't look like the Spence fight, if Spence beats Garcia, is going to happen this year. But, you know, Shawn Porter, Ugas, that's still a good fight as well. But somebody's going to have to see Spence if he gets past Mikey Garcia, because he's probably going to want to fight another time this year. So maybe Manny Pacquiao. You know, Keith Thurman says he's open to the Pacquiao fight too. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's the latest on Keith. One time, you better not duck me, Thurman. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. You know, I put out content, boxing news, boxing videos. You know, I'm at the fights, you know, just a little bit of everything that you get. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. I don't know. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.